Welcome to Stale Popcorn, the movie podcast that gets between your teeth. I'm Bruce Ingram, movie reviewer for Sun Times Media Local, and with me is features managing editor Jennifer Thomas. And today we're going to be talking about Summer Movies 2014. What looks good and what looks loud, stupid, and annoying. I have to say, I think there's a pretty good lineup.
So you were pretty impressed?
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched about a lot of this stuff. I mean, a lot. You've got Jupiter Ascending by the Wachowski brothers. Now the Wachowski siblings, of course. It's one of them is now a woman. Jersey Boys, Clint Eastwood. Maleficent with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
I don't know if the movie's any good, but I love her horned headdress thing.
She's got about the best headpiece I've seen.
It's very cool. It's, A Night in Old Mexico with Robert Duvall. So it looks good to me. Anything with Robert Duvall, frankly, is pretty good, except for that Christian Gothing movie that came out a couple of years ago, which was a terrible disappointment. And Chef.
That
John
actually seems
Favreau.
interesting.
Favreau. 22 Jump Street even looks good to me. There are a couple of cool comedies coming up. A Million Ways to Die in the West. Believe it or not, I'm really looking forward to A Million Ways to Die in the West.
No, I do believe it. That seems like a you movie.
Well, I wasn't a huge fan of Ted, and in fact, Ted made $549 million.
Are you kidding me?
Worldwide? No, but I have to say it looks funny, and I'm a sucker also for movie comedies that are in the Old West. I mean, starting with Blazing Saddles.
Huh, that's interesting.
They're almost always funny. I don't know why. And, one of my favorites is one called Evil Roy Slade. Did you ever see that?
Can't say that I have.
Okay, this is a must-see for everybody out there. It was a TV movie, and it starred John Astin of the Addams Family.
Sure, yeah.
As the world's most badass outlaw called Evil Roy Slade.
Oh.
Abandoned as a baby and raised by wolves, etc.
Oh, no.
He hates everybody. He just wants to be loved. And it's just hilarious. You've got Mickey Rooney. You've got Dick Shawn, who's in the producers, who played L.S.D. Dubois. He plays this good guy cowboy in a white suit with fringe. His name is Bing Bell. I mean, it's wonderful. Wonderful. So definitely, you got to check it out. There's a lot, so anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, I'm definitely a genre person, and so there's some good ones coming out of that. I mean, one of the ones I'm really looking forward to is definitely Maleficent. I think Angelina Jolie is the perfect casting choice for that. And
now, Maleficent, if I understand it correctly, this is a live action Sleeping Beauty,
yes.
And she's the evil queen,
right?
Essentially, right?
Yeah, she's one. They're technically fairies. Although
really?
I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of the ears they put on her. There's some ear debacles going on in the summer movies,
really?
Including Channing Tatum. And
yes.
Jupiter
yes.
Ascending. So I feel like Spock needs to come out and be like, "This is how you do these ears properly."
Yeah.
But
or it's been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my hope is Maleficent will be the answer to what Mirror Mirror and Snow White and the Huntsman was not.
Okay.
And that's something dark, something really in keeping. Have you seen the 1959 Sleeping Beauty cartoon, the Disney?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that to me, that is dark and ugly and wonderful.
Yeah.
And
back in the day, it was okay for children's movies to be scary.
Yeah. I'm a little worried because this kind of looks at, and you and I actually talked about this a while back, this actually sort of tells the backstory to how she became evil.
Oh.
I think it's kind of try to humanize her.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I hope not.
That part I'm not as fond on. I want her to do the scene from the cartoon where she falls down the cliff and then raises up as that dragon.
Yes.
And
you just think, you have to guess that they will, You have to assume that they probably will do it in a really cool way.
So I'm hoping for the best, but I'm a little leery based on the fact that it's a little bit more about told from her side of the equation.
Yeah. I mean, if we have to come to understand why she's evil,
right,
and have a little sympathy, no, I don't buy that. I want my villains just to be evil.
Yeah,
just flat out evil.
And that's come out pretty quick. That's May 30th, and I would say my number two, possibly above that, would be Sin City: A Dame to Kill For, which is
You're
August
looking forward to
22nd.
that.
Yeah.
What appeals to you about that?
I loved the original, and I love that marriage of style and substance, which doesn't usually happen.
Right.
I thought the way they made it look, I mean, it's not going to be as surprising anymore.
Right.
Because we've seen it, but I thought it was really captured that graphic novel.
I'm trying to think back. Was it one of the first to do that? I think it may have been, because there was some talk at the time, I think, about how unusual
It was definitely, yeah, I mean, it was unusual for that time, and then you had some terrible ones that kind of tried to copy that. You know, I mean, it kind of had like and of course it's Robert Rodriguez, who's friends with Quentin Tarantino. So it had that Quentin Tarantino violent feel to it, notched up,
Oh, yeah.
visually.
It was speaking of dark and disturbing, it was a very disturbing movie.
Yeah.
Very messed up.
Any movie that turns Frodo into like a scary
Exactly.
psycho killer.
The most horrible, disturbing psycho killer. Yeah. Okay. Now, is this a film that you think that you're actually going to enjoy?
Yes.
This is one that you're actually eager. See,
Yes.
This is where
Not
you
you.
leave me behind, because I can say, oh yeah, this is going to be probably real interesting. But you'd practically have to drag me in there if I didn't have to go and see it.
Is it what does not appeal to you about it?
It just seems like, well, of course I haven't seen it,
Right.
but
I
the
mean,
first
the idea.
one, the whole thing just seems like such a colossal bummer. It's like it just seems incredibly misanthropic.
Oh, it is.
It's just like, instead of living, let's just go and slit our ankles.
It isn't. Yeah, it's definitely not a feel-good movie.
No.
I think I like violent movies. I mean, there's just no question
We
about
know
that.
this about you.
Yeah, I mean, most people know that. So, for me, what saves it from being too depressing is because it has that like hyper stylized quality to it.
That's
So you feel like, okay, well, this is not,
and it's smart and it's funny.
Yeah. And, I love Mickey Rourke in it. I mean, he's just great. So, yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to be as, exciting as the original, because the first one was such a surprise.
Yeah.
So, but I think it'll be fun.
How do you? I'm not thrilled that they brought back Dame for the title. I can't get my mouth around the word Dame. I
You don't like the word Dame itself?
it just seems so anachronistic. I mean,
Oh, I love it.
I can't help thinking of South Pacific.
Oh.
I don't think I've heard the word Dame. I mean, wow, if I ever heard it before, actually in use, it would have been in a Raymond Chandler novel or something from the 40s.
But I think Dame is actually cool, unlike, and I've heard men say this today, gal.
Oh, yeah.
Gal is the worst.
Gal is
She's a
awfully
nice
bad.
gal.
Awfully bad.
No.
That's bad. But Dame?
Well, Dame is, it's kind of like retro cool.
Okay.
No.
All right.
It's the guys and dolls kind of.
Has anybody ever referred to you as a dame?
No.
I don't think I've ever heard. I'm not
Nobody
making
calls
an argument
anybody.
here. I'm just
No.
musing. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anyone in real life say that word. I prefer dames to bitches.
Well, I think you'll get at most agreement on that one.
Yeah. Which is interesting, because we don't want to go down this tangent.
Yeah, no. So what's one of your big ones that you're looking forward to?
I have to say, I was on the fence. I was actually leaning towards saying X-Men: Days of Future Past is one I'm really kind of psyched about, even though I have yet to really enjoy an X-Men movie. I mean, we're talking enjoyment here. Yeah, for some reason they just leave me cold. Don't ask me why. No really great explanation, but they just don't really do it for me. But this one seems really interesting. You got Bryan Singer coming back,
right?
Who did the first two, director of the first two, and I like the time travel plot. I mean, you get to double down. You get the original. I don't want to say the old X-Men, because we were talking about 7, 8 years ago or 10 years ago. But you get the original crew of X-Men, and then you get the first generation, younger X-Men. And, that's just either that's going to be incredibly chaotic and confusing, or it just seems like it might be fun. If we're lucky.
I think. And they did such a good job casting the younger versions of these characters.
Cast is incredible.
Yeah, it's great.
It's amazing. You get Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence. Mm-hmm. It's a little nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have such a low bar of expectation for these superhero movies. I don't know, for some reason that just seemed like fun to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to go there, but then I was digging around a little bit more, and I was just blown away by one that might be a little bit obscure, called Lucy.
Oh, yeah.
With Scarlett Johansson
Right.
in a Luc Besson movie. Scarlett Johansson kicking ass like La Femme Nikita. It just looks like so much fun to me. I mean, you get Scarlett Johansson who's transformed into this super being, super intelligent, but also super badass. Like apparently laying waste to the Yakuza or something like that.
Huh.
It looks like it's going to be terrific.
That was one of those movies. I read the description and I kind of said, huh?
Check the trailer out.
Yeah, I need to watch the trailer.
It looks absolutely spectacular. And I just always get a kick out of a badass woman movies, you know. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I'm with
fun.
you on that.
Always fun. I mean, all the way back to Faster Pussycat, Kill Kill. I mean, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Right.
Hit Girl from Kick-Ass.
Yeah, there is something really compelling about a girl kicks butt.
Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, I think for women, it's the feeling of empowerment.
Oh, yeah.
Men, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's attractive or if
Well, there's empowerment and then there's empowerment.
Yeah. I guess they're not feeling fearful. I don't know.
I mean, Uma Thurman in Kill Bill, she's just beyond empowered.
Yes.
She's devastating.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think, maybe this is just me, but I've always had this secret desire. I wish I could just have some secret martial arts skills.
Oh, yeah.
Like you picture yourself walking down a dark alley one day, someone's trying to mug you. Yeah, and you just destroy them. I mean, it's just a great thought. Yeah.
Okay, then check out this trailer.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
Yeah. For my follow-up, really coolest movie ever, I'm going to get a little weird here. I'm gonna
Okay.
get a little geeky.
All right.
But I tell you, I hadn't heard about this, and when I started digging around, when I saw this, my jaw just hit the floor. I was thrilled. I'm thinking, terrible name, I'm afraid, but I think it's called Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, check this out. It's directed by Joon Ho Bong, the South Korean. Now, you may not recognize the name, but this is the guy who made The Host.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, that insanely cool
That's a
monster
really
movie
good one.
from Korea.
Yep.
Okay, and this guy also, he's a writer-director, he's also made, I think he's only, if I'm correct, this is only his fourth film, and this is his first English-language film, the one that's coming up, Snowpiercer. He's also made Mother and Memories of Murder,
Yes, that was a good
about
one.
a serial killer.
Right.
All of them, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And the guy is just, he's one of the most, visually talented directors I think I've ever seen. For me, his visual sense is I find myself thinking he's like the equivalent of Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah.
And every frame that this guy shoots is just beautiful. There's something compelling about it.
I mean, I can immediately think of From the Host and Memories of Murder. I can picture the scenes immediately.
And it's not like they're flashy tap dancing, sort of
No.
look at me, dazzle me,
They're just
I'm going to dazzle you now. They're
very
just,
carefully.
Yeah. They
framed.
draw you in and they're just gorgeous. And also very moody. But he can handle action also.
Right.
Now, this is a very weird story, I grant you. I mean, it's basically, you've got Chris Evans, who's Captain America, not being Captain America, versus Tilda Swinton,
Oh my.
believe it or not. And,
My money's on Tilda.
one hopes. But I kind of doubt it. And basically what you've got here is, I don't want to go on a length too much because it's very weird, but okay, it's after, it's in the second ice age. Somehow mankind is screwed up as we always do, and we've wiped out the whole planet, and it's been covered by ice, glaciers everywhere, and it's a global warming thing.
Oh.
Anyway, and the only humans who survive are on a high-speed, high-altitude train that circles the globe at a really high speed, and it's called Snowpiercer, and you have remnants of human culture, all human societies on this train, And basically it boils down to you've got the rich and you've got a few rich up in the first class compartment, and everybody else is poor and they're suffering, they're eating dog food and all this kind of stuff.
It's always the way it is.
So you've got this, naturally calls for a revolution. And the whole thing is the train is owned by some sort of mysterious billionaire, and Tilda Swinton is his agent on the train, blah, blah, blah. So that's the story. It's basically, the oppressed people rise up. And
Sure.
But
They always do.
just keep in mind, it's making it. I just have a feeling.
No, I think that sounds really pretty cool.
I'm psyched about this.
I mean, that sounds like what Elysium should have been,
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah.
but clearly wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there, but
Exactly. I mean, it's not like the story is, if it were somebody else doing it, I'd go, okay.
yeah, you would think it would be
It's a
business
sci-fi,
as usual.
fantasy, epic, blah, blah.
Right.
But I'm so psyched about this guy doing it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
Yeah.
the way he approaches it might be a lot different than anyone else would do.
Could be wrong, but I'm very, very psyched about it. So, okay. Any others that you're really?
I mean, there are some, back and forth, interesting things. I mean, I'm interested in Godzilla, actually. I think that could be fun. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping...
Saw it, by the way.
You did!
This
That's
one.
right.
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
well...
I'm not going to spoil your fun. She's my boss. You'll have to read it. You'll have to read it.
That's right.
Okay.
I'll read it.
All right.
I just think it could be fun.
I'll tell you this. It's a big, dumb monster movie. Oh. And it doesn't try to be... that's a good thing. If you want a big, dumb Godzilla monster movie, it doesn't try not to be that. But on the plus side, it looks spectacular. Speaking of Jun Bong Ho type of stuff. Jun Ho Bong. Excuse me. All the rest of the world, excuse me. Stupid American here. It looks great. And it sounds great. The sound effects are fantastic. But it's just,
Okay.
Well,
I was hoping... I didn't expect it to be, like an exercise for your brain or anything.
Right.
But I thought it might be a little bit heightened in terms of quality, but we'll see.
I tell you what, they pulled it off. It's 2 hours long, and they make it work. And there's a lot to like.
We'll see.
I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting a life-changing experience I always expect more from Godzilla than Godzilla can give. I don't know.
I think you're the only one.
I don't know. Okay. All right. Any others that you're kind of psyched about?
I mean, there's a few. I mean, and then I've got ones that I just kind of shake my head, just wondering what's going on there. I mean, moving on to the more
we're
equation. Yeah.
We're going to be.
I mean,
now
if
we're
you've
moving
got
into
good...
the derision part
yes,
of the program. Okay.
That part.
All right.
Well, the one that confuses me more than anything is the Transformers movie.
Oh yes! All right, high five. Hear that sound? Okay.
Yeah, that's a real high five going on. We actually are in the same room here. I mean, it doesn't confuse me in the sense that it's going to make a gajillion dollars, and Michael Bay,
yeah, nothing confusing about that.
What? And actually, I mean, the fact that it stars Mark Wahlberg, I actually think is a positive.
It's an ameliorating factor.
Yeah, because even though sometimes he's a terrible actor.
No, I don't think so.
Sometimes.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I think he is a good actor, but I think sometimes he comes across terribly.
I think he's like a John Wayne actor or a Spencer Tracy actor.
Sometimes I love him. I mean,
Yeah, I think he's. I'm not a. I'm a fan.
I am a fan of his, but I think his style of acting doesn't work everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, obviously, for this, it's going to work. I mean, the big question is how much more crap can you blow up? But I think by taking it, you have a new cast, and what's even weirder to me is that, so I saw, first thing I saw was a still from the movie, and it's got, Mark Wahlberg, and then it has this blonde girl, Nicola Peltz, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's his girlfriend. No, it's his daughter.
Okay.
Well, but this is the thing. I mean, this is what Hollywood has done to our brains. You automatically assume the age-inappropriate girlfriend versus the pretty much age-appropriate daughter.
Right.
So that was cool to me. But, yeah, I'm not sure what else could go on with these Transformers, is my question. But I guess, doesn't
what
matter.
What else can they turn into? Well, one thing that might be another factor in its favor, this was also top of my list. I'm dreading this. I'm with you, dreading this so much. But it does have Dinobots.
You think this is a good thing.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
No.
But at least it's, no, it's a step in a different direction. A little,
Yeah.
Well, dinosaurs are cool. I think I must just have a weird thing about paleontological
Godzilla
era
and
monsters. Okay.
You enjoy lizards.
I was a little boy. I'm sorry.
Well, that is true. I was not a little boy.
Okay. Dinosaurs are deep in my DNA.
Literally.
Something else. But when I said what movies look good and what good movies look loud, stupid, and annoying,
right?
I was thinking Transformers 4. But the thing that kills me about Transformers, I don't mean to be insulting. I'm fully aware that these movies make huge amounts of money and that people obviously really enjoy them. This is fine, but the thing that drives me crazy about them is that I'm blanking on the director's name.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. He obviously just doesn't care if these movies make any sense.
Right.
And they're so loud while they're being incoherent, and they're just it's just such an onslaught of visual spectacle and noise, and it just doesn't add up, even logically, from one minute to the next. At least I think the last one, maybe it was actually number 2 that was really bad in that way.
Yeah, I mean the first one, I actually thought
First one was okay,
pretty good.
Yeah,
and made sense, and I thought it. I enjoyed it, and I mean for me, I'm totally fine with a brainless movie.
Absolutely.
Going in, it's just a way to empty your mind, whatever. But there has to be some hook, and I feel like at this point, I mean, maybe going back and getting a new story with Mark Wahlberg and his daughter, and maybe that's going to be enough.
Somehow I doubt it.
I mean, it's not enough for me to want to spend the money to go see it at a theater, but
what's enough is that it makes gazillions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, Michael Bay has actually said that the worse reviewed his movies are, the more money they make at the box office.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. So
I don't know if one comes before the other, or I don't know. Actually, very interesting.
It clearly doesn't make a difference.
So, do you have a very strong second place? One that you're just looking that you're really terrified?
Well, it's more that I actually think it's going to be horrible, and I wish this was not true. But I think Jupiter Ascending, the Wachowskis. I've seen a couple of trailers. I just have this feeling it's going to be terrible, and like one of those movies that people ridicule.
Yeah.
And Channing Tatum's makeup is just god awful.
It looks really silly.
Yeah.
I'm very reluctant to say that because I'm a big fan of theirs. I love The Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
Even Cloud Atlas. There was moments in that that were just mind-boggling.
It was very ambitious, Cloud Atlas.
Oh, and they were just the whole segment when they were in the future or wherever it was in New Tokyo and Neo Tokyo, or whatever that was, unbelievably cool looking. But it didn't really add up, and so I'm a little worried. I'm crossing my fingers. I hope it'll be really, really, really cool. But I don't know. For people who haven't checked it out yet, if you like the Wachowskis, no longer the Wachowski brothers, check out Bound. This is what they made in 1996, a little kind of indie drama. Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly, but two lovers who want to steal a bunch of mob money and make Jennifer Tilly's boyfriend, the gangster, their fall guy. Oh, it's fantastic. And so, it's so utterly, it's almost like an intimate drawing room comedy or something. So the scale is so small and human compared to these other things. It hardly seems like them, but it's a great movie.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, summer certainly is a great time to have sci-fi. So, I mean, if this is basically Mila Kunis is playing, she's supposed to be the next queen of the universe, and then she's got Channing Tatum there kind of protecting her.
Yeah, with the ears.
It came across very cheesy to me. So, I don't know. Well, I'll have to see. But
I hope it does, at least does well, because I want them to keep going. I don't have a super strong second place, one that just makes me cringe. But I think I'm not looking forward to Hercules with to me it's Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock, of course. Yeah, that seems kind of just like a afterthought movie.
Yeah, and has there ever? I mean, I actually am kind of a fan of The Rock. I know I should call him Dwayne Johnson. but he just doesn't look like Dwayne Johnson. You know, he doesn't look like a Dwayne for one thing. But I'm sorry, but I like his movies, and he seemed to be stepping away from some of this stuff to a certain extent,
Right.
and also to be kind of making fun of the whole image, you know, the macho image, and in some other films, but. This just, I don't know, unless he's going to be like, is this going to be a tongue-in-cheek Hercules? I doubt it. Has there ever been a good Hercules movie? I don't think
I don't
so.
know. I mean, when I think Hercules, I do think Kevin Sorbo in the TV show.
Okay.
You know, I enjoyed it, gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not aware.
But with Hercules as the main character, right up front, and
Yeah.
it's just him and his muscles.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's always
No,
been a
I
recipe
guess
for
to me
disaster.
this is kind of a pointless thing. I mean, unless they're going to go deeper with it, and yeah, I like The Rock too. I mean, I think he's funny. I think he's really
Yeah.
I think he's charming.
Yeah.
So
He made a great speaking of kids movies, you can't really say this is scary, but he was really fun. He played a tooth fairy.
yes, I've never seen that, of course.
He was
but
terrific.
not even on a plane.
I'd rather see whatever that movie is, 2. I'd rather see the sequel to that movie than Hercules. And speaking of sequels that, you know, that I don't want to see, I am absolutely dreading Night at the Museum 3,
Oh God.
I have to say. That's going to be punishing.
Yeah, I mean, these are, you know, after a certain point, it's really just about making money, which is fine, but doesn't mean it's going to be enjoyable any longer.
Well, if they peel off some of it in the form of bribes for good reviews, that might be a good thing. But I don't know. At some point, they really should just stop.
I mean, like I said, I understand money talks, but I feel like, you know, you have these ideas and you beat them into the ground and you basically obliterate any goodwill that people had towards your idea, which, you know, who cares at the end of the day is what I'm sure they think. You know, they'd rather make money than worry about
Yeah.
whether people take them seriously anymore.
Well, I think
So it's fine.
No,
I mean, well, speaking of that, I mean, they're bringing back the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yes. How do you feel about that? I was never. You know, I'm too old to have any emotional connection.
It was
to
sort
those
of,
guys at all.
I'm falling into that strange area. Like my younger brother was really just obsessed with them. You know, the cartoon and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, I think I saw the original movie in the theater. You know, this one.
It made a lot of money.
Yes. You know, who knows? I mean,
What was it?
I'm
Early
sure it's
80s
good.
or something?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Kind of amazing. I'm proud of them for holding off as long as
That's
they
true.
have. I suppose it must have been insane legal difficulties or something.
Or, you know, now they've figured, okay, well, they have the kids who were kids then now are old enough to have kids to go take to this movie.
Yeah. And they're obviously as big a thing as they ever were. I mean, I went
Yeah.
into a Toys R Us and there's a Teenage
Yeah, it's
Mutant
really
Ninja Turtles
interesting.
aisle. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's strange to me that these toys that I played with as a kid are really popular still.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, to me, again, that's sort of like an afterthought movie, you know. I don't expect anything
Right.
good out of it. I don't expect anything terrible out of it either. You know, it might be fun. I'm sure for taking kids, it's fun.
And it probably won't be quite as devastating as Sin City. Won't be, yeah. It's probably a
be
little
funny.
more lighthearted.
It'd be like a bait and switch.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden they have, you know, these like turtles that are eviscerating each other.
In chiaroscuro lighting.
Right.
And like, yeah.
Just never know.
Dark night of the soul.
Right.
You know, there's no point to life unless you have a dame
right.
to
A dame.
kill for.